The roar of the crowd can only mean one thing, really. Race day has arrived here in Abu Dhabi, and it's time to join our teams who are getting ready down on the grid. The Yas Marina circuit is made up of 3.28 miles of track, featuring 16 corners with 2 very long straights. DRS zones going into the heavy braking zones of both Turn 5 and Turn 7 offer plenty of potential for overtaking. The circuit comes with its fair share of tricky corners, which will certainly test a driver's braking management. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Antonelli, Doohan, Hulkenberg, Sainz, and Ollie Behrman, Tsunoda, Leclerc, Lance Stroll, and Albon, Bortoletto, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, and Isaac Hadjar. Gasly and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Now use DRS. DRS now available. use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 8.2 seconds. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Antonelli's behind you. Time last lap, 1 minute 30.7. They're on old mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. flag. We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. Here's some information on Russell for you. They're retiring from the race. Is in for his stop now. Box, we're coming in this lap. Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed. Car ahead starting to create a gap. They're just starting to pull away from us now. confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. This is our true position. They've pitted as well, so warm up your tyres and get down the road. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 1.9 seconds. Gap to your teammate behind, 9.8 seconds. Hamilton's ahead of you, and the time last lap, 1:29.5. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by, 1.5 seconds. Their tyres are 2 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Piastri's ahead of you. Time last lap, 1:29.6. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 1.8 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 2 laps old. We think they've got one more stop, 0.6 seconds. Right, keep pushing, you're gaining on the car ahead. That's P5, you're in P5. Okay, gap to leader, 16.5 seconds. Okay, Piastri just ahead, push hard, push hard. Okay, gap to the car in front, 1.5 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, Sainz is behind you. They're on old mediums. You've got 4 laps until your pit window opens. All right, 16 laps to go.